Today, the news is brought to you by One Veterans Towing, where they remind you, they won't charge you an arm and a leg, they just want your toes. What is this thing, Pokémon Go? Well, before you go all commando on us for spending time on this story, you must ride with us through the journey to understand our reasons. Pokémon Go is a free-to-play, location-based augmented reality mobile game. The game allows players to capture, battle, and train virtual Pokémon who appear throughout the real world. It makes use of GPS and the camera of compatible devices. Although the game is free to play, it supports in-app purchases of additional gameplay items. An optional companion Bluetooth wearable device, the Pokémon Go Plus, is planned for a future release and will alert users when Pokémon are nearby. Wow. Now, I know you're still wondering why this is a story I need to hear. Well, as it turns out, there are things to know about playing along that involve your safety in a very real here-and-now way. You see, in this game, you use your device, usually a mobile phone, to track and locate these Pokémon. The problem comes in being so engrossed in the action on your phone that you walk into harm's way. As you walk about getting exercise from a phone game, searching for the next Pokémon, folks tend to lose track of their surroundings. Some folks have attempted to play while driving. Yes, you heard me right. And for obvious reasons, that should never have to even be mentioned. This is very dangerous. In fact, the National Safety Council advises that distracted walking led to over 11,000 injuries in the past decade, and distracted driving has led to thousands of highway deaths. The National Safety Council cautions those who choose to play the game with a simple message: consider safety over a score before a life is lost. No race to capture a cartoon monster is worth a life. Just a little history on the game. Americans began searching for the legion of digital monsters on July 6th in their homes, schools, and even their streets, fully distracted as they stared at their smartphones. The debut of Pokémon Go game, while certainly entertaining for many, is leading parents and healthcare providers to urge restraint and caution as the potential for injuries resulting from distracted walking already seem to be stacking up. If they're not careful, the thrill of capturing or finding a Pokémon in this new augmented reality game may lead users to actually lose sight of reality and lose their real life. While certainly satisfying to the gamer, the action-adventure game allows users to track and hunt their well-known Pokémon represents the ultimate form of distraction. The risk of falls leading to facial and extremity lacerations and fractures has already been reported and posted to various websites as people search for these pocket monsters in a real world packed with moving cars, ditches, and rivers, all apt to cause real injuries if they're not careful. In a press release, the National Safety Council urged caution and restraint in playing this game in the vicinity of streets, crowded sidewalks, and especially while driving, walking, or doing any activity demanding attention and concentration. Okay, so we're now warned about the dangers of being distracted while functioning in public. What's all the big deal about this new game? Well, if you really want to know, then you'll be glad to know that the Boerne Parks and Recreation Department is offering a Pokémon Go Basics class today, the 18th at 7 p.m. on Main Plaza. Topics will include how to get started, game basics, safety, where to go, tips and tricks on how to save battery, leveling your trainer, and much more. If you're curious about how to play the game, want to know what on earth your kids are talking about, or how to make sure you and your kids are staying safe while playing, this is a good way to get the inside scoop from someone that knows. This class is being taught by the Director of Boerne Parks and Recreation, Danny Zinke. He will also have information about the Parks and Recreation Department Pokémon Challenge, as well as Cibolo Nature Center announcing that they will be hosting a guided hunt for Pokémon along their trails tomorrow, July 19th, starting at 5:30 p.m. Okay, well, enough of the Pokémon story. We will continue to see road construction and therefore changes to the roadways in and around Boerne. While most of the work is being accomplished while we sleep, the changes in lane configuration and temporary new minor detours can leave a driver in a bad place if you just drive by habit rather than actually paying attention to what you're doing, while putting on your makeup and reading that important text message. Crews have worked overnight on the project involving Bandera Road between IH-10 and Main Street. And there has actually been some equipment moved about on the westbound frontage road approaching Highway 46 exit, near HEB. So we may also need to pay particular attention to workers and vehicles in unexpected areas and situations there. Most of the accidents along I-10 since all this construction began have been due to inattentive drivers having to react suddenly to changed roadways and barriers, and a sudden adjustment catches other inattentive drivers off guard. Next thing we know, some folks have met by accident. Be aware of the changes. They will be happening from one day to the next, and practice a little extra caution when driving these days. You see, the average traffic count in the 200 block of West Bandera Road back in the spring of 2013, which is the most recent data available, that average traffic count was over 7,000 vehicles per day, and we all know that traffic has grown in the past 3 years. The bottom line is to pay attention, be patient, be thankful that all this inconvenience will be bringing some improved streets and traffic flow when the projects are finished. A brief look at the weather provides no surprises. Sunrise today was at 6:47 a.m. It's going to reach the mid-90s this afternoon, and we can anticipate a light breeze out of the southeast at around 7 miles an hour with gusts to 13. There's no precipitation in sight. The sun will set at about 8:36 p.m. Well, that's the news. I'm Tom Allred reporting, and now we return you to the hits of the 50s and 60s on 1500 KBRN.